This is the reality check. There's no fancy pantses here. How am I going to survive? How am I going to make a living doing what I do, continually do what I do? What you see on YouTube and what you see in the world, sometimes it's not what you think it is. There's a lot of guys I know that they're in the back of their mom's house, and their mom does their laundry, but yet they're like, oh yeah, my studio and how I do it, and you're going to get this plug-in because da-da-da, and then mom yells, hey, do you want your dinner? Oh, no, mom, hold on, I'm filming, so there's a lot of that going on. There's guys that are driving Porsches, and it's a Ponzi scheme. I mean, they're just spending money to live this luxury life for you to believe that when they say, buy this, do this, that's what you're going to be getting. Oh, I want that. I want tattoos and I want that. Oh, I want that hot girlfriend, and I want to play this music. Well, guess what? The reality is that is not a reality. It's a Ponzi scheme. That guy's lucky enough, and I wish him well. There's a lot of guys I know that are two-income families, which they could not do it without their wife. I personally could not do it without my wife. We're two artists. We need both of our incomes to survive. So this is really an honest opinion and a lifestyle. My studio, down to the microphone, down to every speaker, has been through blood, sweat, and tears. If you know my journey, if you look on Tape Op, you'll see me traveling around China with like 150 pounds of gear, recording bands in Cold War bunkers in China, traveling around the world, almost dying a bunch of times. That wasn't for show. If Instagram, and it wasn't even back then, it was strictly a learning process. Could I survive? Do I want to be an artist? Do I want to record artists? I wanted to know what true artists do, and that was soul searching for myself as well. So I've learned a lot over the years, and then to arrive finally, I'm in a commercial space, and then I almost cannot afford to be in a commercial space anymore. I don't have a mom. I can put the studio in the back. I don't own a house or a property that I can make the garage into a studio. So just be aware of what you're seeing. And when someone says, you got to buy this because I'm telling you, just everybody has their own skeletons in the closet of how they arrived, where they arrived. I've been lucky enough to have a lot of friends that have been doing this for a lot of years. I'm 25 years on. This is all I've ever done. The only time I stopped recording is when my father died. My mom asked me to close the studio. I needed to take care of my father. I closed the studio, put it in mothballs. My dad died a month later. And there I was with my father dead, my studio's in mothballs, and I had to go work security at a door. I was checking your ID when you're coming in. Hey, Manny, can I see your ID? I had to do that for a year and eat cans of tuna because I could not survive anymore as an artist, and I had to get a job. So when someone says you're doing something that's like, that guy, he's a phony or what, I'm not saying, I don't even know what they would say. Almost everything I do in my life is strictly because I like it or love it and I want to do it. And I just think that that's just being honest. Anybody that you see doing this, where are they? Any studio can be made out of an office space, out of your mom's back room or your father's back room. And there's one guy that's on YouTube where he was cool. He showed his pops helping him, get rid of the drums and put electronic drums so things wouldn't be noisy, putting up lights. And I mean, it's a whole show. I mean, they're really believing their son can do something and do a show and tell and a song and dance to sell gear and to be someone on YouTube. So you should know that for me personally, me doing these shows for Warren and Manny's Mic Locker, it's strictly out of the love of what I do. It happened to work out where Warren had approached me and he really liked the way I was recording bands. And if you notice, every time I do a tutorial or do a mic thing, I'm really using local bands. Besides doing covers sometimes to try out some microphones and then bring some really killer musicians together, those are the only times that something you could say would be contrived. I'm just like, man, I would love to do that Van Halen song. Come on, Jimmy, everybody get in there, let's do it. And I'll bring some people together and I'll film it. But it's also to showcase something I believe in, like microphones. I picked Warm Audio. I'm not paid by Warm to talk about their microphones. I just want to know, as a producer, if I got a box full of Warm Audio mics, I record a great drummer, what results would I get? And I did it. If you look up a few months back or about a month ago, there was a Warm Audio video, Underproduced Like a Pro, that I did. You should check it out because that is a real drummer being recorded with affordable mics. And that's the kind of way I live my life. I have some mics that are worth thousands of dollars, but I cannot tell you to buy the mic that's worth $1,000 that it won't do the same as a mic that's worth $600 or $700. Because I think the variable is the musicians and how and the format and the platform you work on. For instance, an electronic guy, some guy that sat in his room, or a woman. I've seen videos of these girls that looks like they just open their laptop and they sing their heart out, and people are flopping over in love with how they sound. And they did it in their room. Like, that doesn't scare me. That just makes me go, oh my God, that is modern technology. My thing is, I don't do boy bands. I want a drummer, I want a musician, and that in turn is my skill set. Microphones, bands, performance, instruments. I don't have a library of violins and cellos and, explosions and, a meteorite coming into the earth and I drop a sub-low sample. I just don't do that. So I rely on what Abbey Road would rely on. Here's a funny joke. Guy's at Abbey Road. He finally gets, some guy pays him to go to Abbey Road. He's up in the bird's nest looking down in the Beatles room. There's a guy playing the piano on a John Lennon mic. And that guy's just thinking, oh my God, this guy is just terrible. And that guy's just jumping away. I'm on, the mic that, John Lennon sang on. He's just stomping on the piano that everybody talks about. And the guy up in the bird's nest who's producing it is just going like, oh my God, what is this? Well, that's what it is, that you can't do anything without the Beatles or the Rolling Stones or whoever, XTC, whoever went into Abbey Road. If you're good enough to be aligned up with a great band or a great musician, in my world of recording, that is where you win. There's a lot of people on the other side of stuff that there's the guys that they can grab the bass and the guitar and they do a loop and then they have a whole song. There's a girl that plays drums, sings, and rocks out and does everything, and you're just blown away that that's her talent. And you know what they don't tell you? If I had someone come in and design this whole room and it ran up to $30,000, $40,000, will my records sound any better than me going down to a thrift store and spending $450 and doing the same kind of somewhat treatment? I don't know, tomato, tomato. Yeah, you go to Sunset Sound, you're going to spend $1,800 to $2,500 a day. Guess what? It better sound like exactly what you're hoping for. But we do not have that luxury anymore to sit there and rack up a $40,000 bill because we're going to hang out all day and play pool and shoot basketball in Sunset Sound. We don't. We work jobs. We spend whatever little money we had to buy things that we love. That being said, there's a lot of misconceptions about what you need to do to be a good producer, mixer, recording guy. So not being optimistic or pessimistic, I'm just letting you all know that really think about where you spend your money, how you spend your money, and don't believe the pipe dream that buying this microphone or buying this amp is going to change your life. Pro audio gear, compressors, and all those things, they don't really matter unless you know how to use them. Thank you for your time and letting me explain this to you. And this is just strictly my feelings about stuff. But it means, though, since I do this 7 days a week, sometimes 12 to 14 hours a day, in those hours, I can find a window to make great music with great bands, still do content like you're getting right now. Stay hungry, and let's do it.